What's the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. So, one of the vital pieces of information from Woody Johnson's NFL Honors Awards interview was that Robert Saleh will be taking on a completely new role and something he hasn't experienced in quite some time. You know, specifically to quote Woody Johnson, he says, one of the things about head coaches is you get better as you get more experience. He's going to concentrate on offense. He has Jeff to do the defense. We have good special teams. It's offense, offense, offense. Get the quarterback moving, get the line moving, work on the run, and do all that you have to do to win. You can't do one thing, you have to do it all. It's not just one player. And this backs up a lot of what I've been saying about the de-evolution of what we've been seeing from Robert Saleh, right? Year one, he looked like a true CEO style coach when he would go through post-game press conferences and just in general when he's touching base throughout the offseason on the offense, special teams, defense, etc. You got very detailed answers about what he was seeing offensively, what they may have needed special teams wise. Granted, he still left those guys to their business, but he was very in tune and in touch with what was going on, what he liked, what he didn't like, areas of opportunity still. And as the years have gone on and we've seen, missed playoff opportunities, obviously seeing faults in him as a head coach, we've started to see that become less and less, right? The answers have been more simplistic, all the way down to the fact that most times we just outright don't have an answer to what's occurring on the field, and we default to we need to check out the film. And then even after watching the film, generally you get very generic answers about basically needing to hustle more, needing to find a better way to coach, and needing to find a better way to execute, right? Not what you want to hear or see by any means, but it was an interesting decision by Woody Johnson nonetheless, because Robert Saleh is not completely devoid of offensive, intelligence and acumen, right? You have to go all the way back, though, to 2002 when he first started kicking off his coaching career as a Michigan offensive assistant working with tight ends. So, it's not completely out of the realm, but obviously this guy has not been in touch with anything offensively for over 2 decades. So to ask him to flip the switch and suddenly take a significant role in the offense to figure out how to get that going, that's going to be a huge undertaking, right? If I'm Robert Saleh right now, I'm buddy with Aaron Rodgers while he's rehabbing this entire offseason to kind of get a Masters 101 course, as he likes to put it, right? We need to get him to a level 500 course as soon as possible. And realistically, that's never going to happen, right? But it does create some interesting storylines. For one, Jeff Ulbrich has missed out on the last couple cycles of head coaching interviews, and there's been better defensive coordinators statistically than him, but it's been few and far in between. I would say one of the main narratives, though, is that this is still Robert Saleh's defense, right? He's still been the main spark that's helped develop a couple All-Pros for us now that have turned undrafted free agents and lower-round draft picks into top-tier starters for us. Now, Jeff Ulbrich gets the opportunity to fully have control of that defense and put his vision and expectations upon it, and we'll see if we look like we have another top-5 defense this season. The second piece will be, what is Robert Saleh's offensive role actually going to be, right? Let's say he does get that master's course and he understands this West Coast offense better than anybody but the greats, right? A huge expectation, and again, not really achievable, but let's just play here with the idea. Does that mean he's going to start making play calls? Does that mean that Nathaniel Hackett's role is going to be further diminished? Will this start leaking into, him potentially changing duties for Todd Downing, for example? What is Aaron Rodgers' perspective of this whole situation going to be, right? So it'll be curious to see how this ultimately works out. But I think some of the baseline things offensively that he would just need to make sure he has an understanding of and when we need to kick it into play is Aaron Rodgers' play style, right? We know he likes to attack the boundaries. We know he's aggressive. And we know ultimately, if he doesn't like some things, he's going to change out of some plays. So I don't think this is a death note, if you will, for Robert Saleh, being that he's going to be in foreign territory here heading into a pivotal make-or-break season for his Jets career. But he can focus on play action, right? We know that's a huge staple in the West Coast offense and definitely a huge part of Aaron Rodgers' skill set. Something we got to see in the preseason. If you think back to that Giants debut when we finally got to see Aaron Rodgers in this first-team offense, RPO should be a huge element. Now, that'll probably be dependent on what's happening with his Achilles, but last I checked, he said he's doing everything but sprinting full speed, so we should be good on that note. And then, of course, just knowing some of the routes he loves the most in terms of things like slants, outs, hitches. Again, any of those things that can start getting you to the boundary, to the sideline, where it's going to eliminate a lot of those higher turnover-worthy plays that Aaron Rodgers has been able to avoid for the majority of his career, right? So this will be an interesting experiment. It's worth keeping tabs for. But again, there's so many questions here, and interesting tactic by Woody Johnson makes me think that maybe if we see some early success, there could be some early talks about him staying beyond this year. But it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Robert Saleh was going to be one of our offensive gurus for the 2024 season. We'll see if it works out or not. Appreciate you guys checking out, and I'll catch you again. Peace.